All right. Coming for the fourth topic of the day, and Elliot, I'm gonna start with you this time, sir. I don't know if I'm excited about this or scared about it, but I am excited to talk about it. Fourth topic of the day, coming from comicbook.com. Giancarlo Esposito confirms talks with Marvel, hopes to play Professor X. Wow. And guys, if you're watching this via live on the replay, there's a link down to this article in the description box below for you to read at your own leisure. And so it just goes on to say Marvel recently explored the multiverse in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. And of course, we saw that film that took place in the 838 universe, not the 616, the MCU that we know it. And we did get some cameos in there. You know, we got Agent Carter, we got Black Bolt, we got Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four, and we also got Professor Xavier, Mr. Patrick Stewart. And you know, that was in the trailers, but a lot of you know, we know the X-Men is coming, and there's been so much talk about who is going to fulfill the role of Magneto and who's going to do it as Professor X. And I was just kind of thinking to myself, okay, it's probably a given, you know, that if Giancarlo Esposito does come in to play the role, it's going to be not Professor X, but Magneto. But now they're talking about Professor X, and I don't know how I feel about that. But before I come to you, Elliot, let me just play exactly what he said. Y'all give me a thumbs up if you can hear this.
There's the talk of Magneto. There's the talk of Dr. Freeze.
Oh my.
There has been talk of, who else are they talking about over there?
Dr.
Doom.
Victor Von Doom.
Doom.
Yeah.
And there is Professor X.
Don't do this to us. Pick one.
Pick one. I'm going to go for something that is a little bit different.
Ooh.
I'm going to go and put it out in the universe that it is Professor X.
Elliot, this is out of nowhere. I did not expect it. How you feeling about this, man? How you feeling?
Well, first off, Kevin Feige this week is probably pulling out the little bit of hair that he has left from Gene saying this to Patton Oswalt saying that Eternals is confirmed, and Rosario Dawson earlier today saying that John Berthal is back as the Punisher. So Kevin's just like, okay, guys, just no more interviews until we announce things officially. But Gene, first off, incredible actor, one of my favorite actors since seeing him back in the day in Spike Lee films and just all the different stuff he's been a part of his career. And, you know, in the last decade or so, him transitioning to the kind of pop culture side of Star Wars and different things. He's in The Boys, and now, you know, a lot of us have been hoping to maybe see him play someone in the either the DC universe, like he mentioned, Mr. Freeze, or someone in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So he did say the word different, and I 1000% agree with him, because that would be a completely different take of Charles Xavier, because, you know, in the comics, you know, we always talk about being represented on screen. There is, you know, and I know there's a narrative out there that these characters are based on, you know, Malcolm X and, you know, Martin Luther King Jr., which is not the case. That is something that kind of pop culture kind of created. That wasn't Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. That wasn't their intentions for those characters to be based off of those pivotal characters in history. But that would be very different, man. It would kind of fundamentally change the characters, especially like Magneto, being that he's from, you know, fighting Nazis and all the different stuff there, and how integral that was for him being in the Holocaust and all that. And Charles Xavier being someone that comes from wealthy money and comes from, you know, a wealthy family. So they would definitely change the foundations of the characters, which again is something we want to see, something new. But when you strip away some of those layers from those characters, it makes it almost seem like why not tell the actual stories that these characters come from? So it would be very, very, very interesting to see him take on the role. But knowing that he's such a great actor, I don't have any doubt that he wouldn't be able to pull off the role. It's just, I don't know if I want to see him in that role because of how integral their stories and their backstories are to those characters.
I couldn't have said it any better myself, Elliot. I agree 100%. I know he'll knock it out the park, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. Kim, how you feeling about this? You buying it? You wanting them to be Professor X or somebody else, or what you think?
Look, I don't want to say, I don't get super upset when there's race bending in characters. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's ridiculous. And sometimes an actor makes you go, I don't care what color the original one was. This person knocked it out of the park. And he's one of those actors. Somebody in the chat said, loved him on Homicide: Life on the Street. I forgot who in the chat said that. I'm right there with you. That was my show. Actually, I love Homicide. He's an incredible actor. He's that guy that shows up and you're like, ooh, I like him. What show is this? Keep it on. You just love, there's something so lovable about him. One of the best castings I feel like in movie history was Patrick Stewart as Professor X. I remember when that came out and I was, God, maybe I'm not going to date myself. I was a teenager. And I was like, that's perfect casting. Right. That illustration you just showed with him in the chair, I'm like, nah, that doesn't look bad. However, my thing is, if you're going to race bend characters, people can't be upset. So, and unless the character itself has their culture or their ethnicity heavily tied into their story, you can't get mad unless it's heavily tied in. Like, for example, Magneto, I really appreciate that he has the storyline of being, related, his family line being victims of the Holocaust. I think that's very important.
Very.
I believe that's a connection that needs to stay, no matter what. However, don't be mad if Margot Robbie gets cast as Storm. If you're gonna race bend, you have to be open, and you can't get mad about other things. So unless it's super important that Professor X came from an Irish clan, if that's his background, then yeah, you could get a little upset. But when it's an excellent actor like this, I say give it a chance. But my whole thing is you can't be mad at the race bending if it goes the other way. Okay. If you're going to be excited and open about it, you have to be open to the possibility that some other characters that are people of color, if they get like Ghost in the Shell, look at how pissed everyone was at Scarlett Johansson. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. You have to be ready for that backlash. But an actor like that, it's not like they're getting some subpar B actor. Again, his artistry is undeniable. So you can't go in and go, oh, he's not going to live up to, how wonderful Professor X is. Yes, he will, and he'll kill it. But you better believe that this is going to come with some criticism. And if they choose to race bend some other actors, then people need to get ready for that. If you're going to make Cyclops a female, how much are we going to change of X-Men? We've been waiting for years for X-Men. It's one of my favorite franchises. And I don't know, how much are you going to change of X-Men? But honestly, he's one of those actors. I respect him so much. And look, if they want to do that, I'm open to it. But that means you have to be open to other characters being switched around a little bit.
Okay, thank you, Tyra. How you feeling?
He can do whatever he wants to do. Like, this man has been in Hollywood like forever, and I don't feel like he ever gets any real accolades. Like, he is a really great actor. He can do whatever he wants to do. Like, me personally, with that good, sinister, like, just that energy he's able to give off. And I'm not talking about you new people with the Better Call Saul and what is that? What is that show? Breaking Bad. I'm talking about Esteban from Fresh. I'm talking about Bugging Out. I'm talking like he has so much depth, and I feel like it will be a great addition. Whatever he wants to touch, like y'all not doing him no favors. Like, he's doing you a favor by appearing in your film. He hits it and knocks it out of the park every single time. Whenever he steps anywhere in the vicinity of your movie, like, he can do whatever he wants to do. Personally, Professor X, cool. Like, I would much rather see him as Doom or Magneto. I know he's trying to give some range and, do something else, but like, he's been out here forever. I know you have range. You don't have anything to prove to nobody. I want you to do Doom. I want you to do Magneto, Dr. Freeze. Like, I think he would be a great addition to anything. I don't care about nobody's color, none of that. Whatever he wants to do, allow him to do that, because he's paid his dues to be able to do that.
Okay, so you with it. You with it. Okay,
yes.
okay.
Yes,
that's what's up.
Yes,
Dan C for the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
What a money reside, what a money reside, what a money reside, what a money reside.
There are 50,000 X-Men movies already. We don't need more. Thank you so much for the super chat, Dan C. I do appreciate it, but I disagree with you infinity% on that. We need as many X-Men movies as possible. Again, thank you for the super chat. You just don't watch it. You know, just, if you don't, you know,
this is Dean Big Brother Almighty. He can do whatever he want to do. Stop.
yeah. But for me on this, I am not with it. I share the sentiments of Tyra as far as his acting is concerned. He's phenomenal. I think if he did do the role, he would knock it out the park. But if I was Kevin Feige, I wouldn't cast this. I don't think he is going to play Professor X because I think the man is smart enough not to just say it so randomly at this panel here. Wherever he was just too nonchalant about it. It's probably an intentional misdirect. I would rather see him as Magneto. Going back to kind of what Kim was saying, you know, there and Elliot, race bending, but it will tie into the lore of the character of discrimination and racism. That's something that Magneto in the comics did because of the Holocaust. But of course, you know, we had the civil rights, and so it's kind of similar. You know, Elliot brought up the fact that he models after Martin Luther King and Malcolm X compared to MLK and Malcolm X. I think I mixed the names up, but y'all know what I'm saying. So that would be more of a fit for me of him being Magneto instead of Professor X. But then again, he's still not even my first choice to play Magneto. If it was up to me, I wouldn't do any race bending at all. I would try to keep it as classic as possible, still bring the racial element in there, the discrimination as far as the Holocaust is concerned. That'll be very hard because as time goes on, we're getting farther away from the 1940s and 1950s where World War II took place. But at the same time, you know, because Magneto would be 80, 90 years old or something, Professor X. And so if you were to keep that timeline, but you know, they are mutants, so maybe they can say mutants don't age as much, you know, as fast or something. I mean, I'm sure they can come up with something, but I wouldn't be pissed if he was officially cast as this, but I'm definitely not looking forward to it. So
Brandon,
what's up?
Who would you like to see as Professor X?
If I had the Dragon Balls and I can wish to Shenron, it would still be Patrick Stewart. You know, but
tired.
He's up there. But I mean,
killed too in every movie.
As long as he can sit in a wheelchair,
right, and just go like this. You know, I think he'll be okay. Michael Fassbender could come back. Other than that, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a ton of people that can do it. I just can't think of anybody right now. I mean, Michael Fassbender wasn't at the top of my list, but I still liked him a lot.
He was great.
So Patrick Stewart, number one, Michael Fassbender. But if I had to think about somebody that actually hasn't played the character, oh man, I don't know. I'm trying to picture people with a bald head, and it's kind of hard. They don't have to be bald. I don't know who you got.
This is odd. I know I'm going to get crap for this. This is odd because his stature is not like Professor X, and his face and his jaw muscles are a little too hard. But for some reason, every time I see a recasting, I always feel like Viggo Mortensen would make a great Professor X. But it would be hard because his physicality. He's too tall. But for some reason, he has this. You look at him and you're like, I don't know what you're about to say, but I respect you. But he has, when he does play characters that have a little bit more softness to them, which is rare, but if you watch Mr. Fantastic, you might be able to see what I'm talking about. I think he does have that soft, respectable way about him. But I do realize that physically he doesn't really look like him. But when he's bald, I just, for some reason, that's who I think of. I don't know. What do you guys, what do you think? What do you think, Eve?
I don't know. Yeah, E, what you think, man?
He's a fantastic. I would actually like to see him because you know he can hit on those villainous notes. I would love to see him play a Doom. Dr. Doom would be great. But as far as Professor X goes, I would love to see. You know, you talked about someone bald. We talked about Carlos. He's worked across from him in a TV show by the name of Breaking Bad. I would love to see Bryan Cranston as
I don't want to say it, but
Professor X. I think Heisenberg would be
okay,
fantastic
man.
in that role because I think Bryan Cranston is just absolutely fantastic as an actor, and I would think that would be a nice little fitting there.
Okay. Tyra, you got any dream casting or yeah, let us know if you do. No. Okay.
No, I want what they talk. I would like to see that happen. Like I don't really get into Professor X like that. Like I'm more of a Magneto person. I stay over there, and I just would love to see him in that role. But whoever wants to, shave their head and roll around, they can do that all day. I'm okay.
She did not say shave their head.
Most of the films, like I go with the villains. Like I always love Magneto way more than Professor X. I mean, Professor X is cool, they're the good guys, but I'm a Magneto fan. Like I don't care what happens over there.
Okay. So and since we're talking about and thank you for that, Tyra. I do appreciate it. Yeah, guys. Y'all let us know what you think down below as well in the comment section. I'm very curious to know, are you excited for Giancarlo Esposito to play Professor X or Magneto, or who do you have? Who would you cast? And if you're interested in reading this article, again, it is in the description box of this video for you to read at your own leisure.